But I still want to put a disclaimer here, don't try this at home.
Welcome to this episode of How to Crush No Limit Hold'em Games in United States Casino. I'm Jun. Today we're going to a new casino again. It's Resort World on the north side of the strip. And because this is the end of the WSOP series, so we can barely find a lot of low stakes buy-in tournaments. And very fortunately, we found one in Resort World today. And we're also gonna play some cash games, so let's go fishing.
So we started our session with the 200 buy-in daily at Resort World, and when we buy in, the blinds are 400, 800, 800, and the starting chips is 25k. And the first hand is cutoff player, open raise to 1800, small blind calls. I got 10 jack offsuit on the big blind, I choose to call. Flop comes queen 4-3 rainbow. I hit nothing. Small blind says I check. I hit nothing, so I also check. But after this, he says he only said I check my card. It's not a check. Then he bets 3000. Wow, this is a very tricky play. And of course I don't lose anything because I hit nothing on this hand, so I didn't complain too much.
I understand how that can become ambiguous, but it was really, I just wanted to go look.
Fortunately, you didn't pause after the check. If you had paused and said, check my card, you'd have been in trouble.
And dealer says he thinks this is okay because he didn't stop his action. But I don't think so. I don't think that's a normal player would say. I check my card, this kind of words. And based on his behavior afterwards, I think this one is doing this on purpose. Anyways, we learned a new trick on the poker table. Definitely want to be more cautious about this player next time. Then the next hand, I got Jack 9 suited on the low jack. I raise it to 2000. Cutoff player calls. Flop comes King Jack 10 2 spades. On this board, I don't want to bet and get raised. And also my middle pair Jack, I don't think it needs protection, so I choose to check. Opponent checks back. Turn comes the 8 of spades. So now I have a double gut shot, and now there are 3 spades on the board and I don't have a single one on my hand, so I choose to check. Opponent bets 4000. It's 2/3 of the pot. I got a middle pair and double gut shot, so I still choose to call. River comes a 4 of spades. So this is not good. I check. Opponent push all in. He's covering me. I don't have any spade on my hand, so I choose to fold. And the next hand, blinds are up to 500, 1000, and 100 big blind empty. And I only have around 14k, around 14 big blinds. And this hand start with undergun player limped, +1 and hijack player limped. I got 10 jack suited on the cutoff, and only undergun player probably is trapping some aces and kings. But facing the +1 and hijack player, I think I'm ahead. An undergun player, in most of the cases, he's limping some like suited connectors or small pair. So I think 10 jack suited in this kind of spot, I push all in would be very, very profitable. So I decided to push all in.
Come on.
And only undergun player calls, other folded. After I show he has king queen offsuit. So we're slightly behind, but we still got a lot of chances. Flop comes ace 8-4. It didn't help me, but turn comes a 7 of heart. So I have more outs. And the river comes a 9. I hit a nut straight and take down this 30,000 pot. But things did not go well after that hand. After some big blind defense and missed, my chips is down to 18.5. And the next hand, blinds are up again. The blinds are 600, 1200, 1200. And this hand start with bottom player open raise to 2500. I got pocket fours on the small blind and I have only 15 big blinds left. And facing bottom player's open range, I think the best strategy is to push all in. And turns out I got a snap, so it didn't feel very good. And he shows pocket kings. So we need some miracle, and flop comes jack, deuce, 8. I still have only 2 outs. Turn is a 6, and river comes a queen of hearts. So very unfortunately I busted and lose 200 bucks. We still follow our tradition trying to win this 200 bucks from the cash game. And I bought in for 1000. And the first interesting hand is bottom player, a very loose player, open raise to 15 bucks. I got 8-6 suited on the big blind and 3-bet him to 60 bucks. He chose to call. Flop comes queen 8 deuce rainbow. Although I didn't hit anything, but I think this board I still got some range advantage. And pre-flop someone is folding, he reveals 10-8 offsuit. So the opponents only have one combo of pocket 8s. Here I decided to bet for 80 bucks and he calls. Turn comes a 2 of clubs, and it's a very good turn card because it makes him has less set combo, and simultaneously I pick up a backdoor nut flush draw. So I decided to bet for 300 bucks, a little bit over bet. I'm hoping to fold all the middle pairs, and if got called, I'm considering a river jam bluff. And the good news is, after opponent's long tank, he chooses to fold. I successfully take down this huge pot. Then the next hand, I got ace queen offsuit on the cutoff. I raised it to 20 bucks. A young regular player on the bottom 3-bet me to 65 bucks. And ace queen offsuit is very standard call, I think. Flop comes 9, 5, 6, 2 diamonds, and definitely a flop favoring my range. I got more sets and straight than him, so I think I can lead out some frequency. But for ace queen offsuit, I think I still dominate a lot of Broadway combos such as king queen, queen jack, queen 10, so I choose to check. And here we can look at solver. If we're going to lead out, we'll choose some 7x or 8x or 10 jack, queen 10, this kind of combos to bet for 1/3 of the pot. And turns out opponents think for a while and choose to check back. Turn comes a queen of spades. I hit a top pair, top kicker, and I bet for 19 bucks, opponent calls. But probably if I check, it would be more reasonable because it goes check check on the flop. Then the queen I think is favoring opponent's range. And indeed we can see in the solver, if the turn is a queen, we will betting a polarized range. We will use like 2 pairs plus combos and also mix in some strong drawings to overbet the turn. If we got a top pair, we would choose to check. But anyways, opponents calls this turn, and river comes a very interesting card. It's 7 of clubs, so it's 1 card straight. But I don't think opponents will have too much 8 in his range. I think he's a regular player. He also knows this. I decided to bet 120, around 1/3 of the pot, trying to get some thin value. And surprisingly, opponents knows what I'm doing.
In value bet. You're too good, I have to pay you.
But the good news is, although he knows what I'm doing, but he still chooses to call. And he shows king queen offsuit. So we're very happy to get 1 more street value and take down this pot. And then the next hand we're playing 5-handed, and cutoff player, a very loose player, open raise to 15 bucks. I got ace queen offsuit, and facing this very wide player, and plus this is a 5-way table, definitely want to 3-bet for value. I raise it to 60 bucks, he calls. Flop comes queen deuce 8, 3 clubs. So I hit a top pair, top kicker plus the nut flush blocker, ace of clubs. So it's a very decent flop. I bet for 40 bucks, he calls. Turn comes a 7 of spades. I think I can continue to get some value, targeting some weaker queen or some middle pairs. I bet for 80 bucks, he calls. River comes a 9 of hearts, and I think for a while, if facing a tight player, I probably gonna check here, but I got an ace of clubs, which is a nut blocker, so I don't think I'm gonna bet and got a raise. So I still choose to bet the river, but if I can choose again, I'm probably gonna choose a small size. I bet for 250 then, and he thinks for very long and says I call.
Call. 2 pair.
I thought I win and shows he says 2 pair. So very unfortunately I saw a 8-9 offsuit and he got a 2 pair and I lost this pot. Next hand is cutoff player, raise it to 15 bucks. I got king jack offsuit on the button and I raise it to 55. He calls. Flop comes ace deuce 4 2 hearts. He checked to me. Here I decided to range bet 40 bucks and interesting things happened. He raised it to 90 bucks, a very small raise. And here I think it's pretty weird. If he got a set, I think he definitely gonna raise for a larger size. So I put in some ace plus weak kicker like ace 7, ace 8 suited, and I got some good blocker on my hands to block some good ace. And there is also a heart on my hand, so I decided to re-raise, trying to get some pressure. I raised it to 185. And he seems very confused and painful after my re-raise, because I think it's a very rare situation. But he thinks for a long time and choose to call. I think he's got some ace deuce or ace 4 this type of 2 pair, or some very strong flush draw like 5-6 of hearts. And turn comes a jack of diamonds. He checked to me. Here I got a very thin showdown value, but the hearts did not come, so I choose to check and see if we're gonna bluff the river. River comes a queen of spade. He bets 335 on a 400 pot, and very obviously if I call, I'm gonna lose this pot. And if there's any chance we can turn our hands into a bluff, I got $900 behind. I think it's deep enough, and also I can represent some ace queen or ace jack, this type of 2 pair. And of course I got better combos to do this, but facing this type of player, I think I still got a lot of chance to fold his hand.
I'm on.
So I choose to push all in. And after I push all my chips, he seems very regretful and says an F word, but he didn't think for too long and fold his hand. And he shows ace 4 of spade. And I also show my hands, but I think afterwards I think it's a little bit rude, and I apologize to him, but he says no need to apologize. He wants me to show, but I still want to put a disclaimer here: don't try this at home. And then the next hand we're playing with old friends again, and cut off a very loose player, open raise to 20 bucks. Small blind is a player we bluffed last hand and he chose to call. I got ace 10 suited on the big blind, and because this player calls a lot, so I decided a larger squeeze size to 115, and 2 players choose to call. Flop comes ace 10 for 2 clubs. We hit the top 2, a very good situation. Small blind check to me, and seems that we are pretty deep behind, so I choose a larger size 250, trying to get some value. Color folded, small blind player push all in. He's very deep. He has around 1300, and I'm covering him. I got top 2 pair. I still need to hesitate for a while, and I rethink his range. He definitely got some pocket 4s, and because I got ace 10 suited, so he has only 1 combo of 10s, and also 2 combos of ace 4 suited, and also some king jack, king queen jack of clubs, this type of hand. So I still choose to call. Then we're gonna see the round out of this huge pot of over 3,000 bucks. Turn comes a 3 of clubs, river comes a 8 of clubs. Seems like I'm in a bad shape, and opponent shows queen 10 of clubs. So very sadly, we lost this giant pot. Then we're going to the last hand of today. I got pocket kings on a low jack and I raised it to 20 bucks. Bottom player, a short stack calls. Flop counts 9, 6, 5, 2 hearts. And I think he only got 150 behind, so it's very easy to put all our chips in. And I think his board is favoring his range, so I choose to check. If he bets, I'm considering a check raise all in, but he chooses to check. Turn comes a queen of spade, and now I need to start betting myself. I bet for 30 bucks, he chooses to call. River is very good, it comes a 4 of diamonds. And SPR is around 1-1, so it's a very easy all in, hoping he can call some queen X, and very successfully he chooses to call and shows queen 10 offsuit, although he's a short stack, but it's very comfortable to stack him and then we get some rebound.
Overall today, I think Resort definitely would be one of my favorite poker rooms in Vegas because it's very spacious and bright, and also their dealer is one of the fattest dealer I've ever seen in Vegas. And as for the result, today I busted 100 over tournament, and for cash games, it's about 500-ish lose. And I think it's acceptable because it's just bad luck. It's very sad we didn't win that 3,000 pot, but I think it's always acceptable as long as we didn't make a big mistake. And in the long run, I think we will have some good luck and then win it back. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.
That is your chance to be ruthless.